All right. I think we are good to go in all areas. Welcome to our game of the week. Erica L. Ayala here. We're watching on playback and on YouTube. Now, this is the game, the CBS game of the week. So we've got CBS, we've got Ion. Lots of opportunity for WNBA. I liked how CBS is looking. I'll tell you what. It was interesting to be on some of the coaching calls for the CBS game of the week. And, Stephanie White likes where her team is at. 3-0 start for the Connecticut Sun, playing the 1-1 New York Liberty. And they know it's going to be a tough defensive matchup. New York Liberty, that is. And so it's going to be a good challenge. Sabrina Ionescu literally practiced those shots. I think that was Miles Ehrlich that showed that from practice. And that's going to be the key ball movement to beat this really great defense by Connecticut, try and run them down. Because what Stephanie White said is that transition defense, the defense allows them to play in transition, which is what they want to do. It was also interesting to hear that Alyssa Thomas going to be playing more of that point forward position. Now, granted, that's something that she's done in the past before, but I feel like it came more out of not getting what Connecticut wanted, and so having to force her to do that. I'm very curious to see how Tiffany Hayes is going to do on this Connecticut side. Ooh, this is going to be a good one, fam. This is going to be a good one. Tiff Hayes, there you go. This is what makes him dangerous. Hey, hey, let me know where you're watching from. I'm here in Tulsa, relocated to Tulsa. Get some more light in here. Um, and so this weekend's important because this is the weekend that we celebrates a little strong, but that we honor and commemorate the unfortunate massacre on Black Wall Street, which is south of me, but actually the building where the incident took place and sparked what was 3 days of bombings, shootings that all happened really on the same block that I live on. So interesting time in history, but I am excited to be watching the WNBA. So this is on CBS. We also had Ion cover the games. Now, I did some sleuthing here and asked around, and supposedly what we're seeing on Ion is essentially what would be the local broadcast anyway. And yeah, so I don't know if they're gonna eventually add a halftime show. I did ask about that and didn't get a response. So we'll see. But I'm watching the Connecticut Sun at New York Liberty right now. Connecticut up 14-9. They went on a 10-0 run right there. And this is really a battle of two teams that want to be aggressive. I think that New York has more noted offensive power just with their superstars. That being said, as we can see, Connecticut, they are patient. They like to pass the ball. That's how the New York Liberty have been playing them early as well. And so I think this is going to be who is going to make fewer mistakes, who's going to stay out of foul trouble. That could determine the winner of this game. Tiffany Hayes couldn't get that one to drop. 16-11 with 3:57 left in the game. This is on CBS. I love seeing other networks pick up and see that should be. Oh no, they didn't call backcourt. Oh, they did. Okay. I was about to say that's clearly backcourt. Anyway, but it's just going to be communication, second chances. You see that offensive rebounds by Bree Jones. Bree Jones, I asked her a little bit about her leadership role. She's been with the club for a while now. They had an overhaul with Kurt Miller leaving, and she's got to be a leader. She's learning how to be more vocal on the court and also taking shots from the perimeter. Nice shot there for Bree Jones. I like her game. She comes into this season looking pretty lean. So that's good. Good defense there. She fronts, but then also is able to, she's moving well this year, so she's able to get back. She's playing real good this year. I'm liking it. Oh my gosh. That's crazy that Tiffany Hayes was in Atlanta for that long. So Ionescu, that's going to miss the mark. So transition. That's what both of these teams want to do. So we're gonna see already. Connecticut has been criticized. If you watched our 5 storylines in 5 minutes, then you saw that Elena Deladon got fined for disparaging comments about the league, particularly about the officiating. And she talked about not getting calls, and she's tired of feeling like she's a rookie out here and not getting calls. You know, I think it's interesting, but Connecticut's a tough team. I will say that there is some truth to, in my opinion, what Elena Deladon is saying. Some superstars don't get treated that way. But at the same token, it's like, do we want superstars to get to be officiated differently? So I don't know. I think there's, you know, there are certain people, I would argue, Diana Taurasi being one of them, that get the benefit of the doubt more than others. But if you hear Asia Wilson talk, Nneka Ogwumike has talked about this a few years ago. She was really vocal about the officiating and how, it's dangerous out there because if officials don't regulate, then players are going to. So be curious to see how this game plays out. Corner Heidemann. Just great ball movement. We're seeing great ball movement from both of these squads. Hey, let me know where you're watching from. My name is Erica L. Ayala. I'm the founder of Black Rosie Media. If you are watching on YouTube, then this is a watch along. So hopefully you're watching the game. Connecticut at New York Liberty scores 21-15. I've got 112 left on the first in the first quarter, excuse me. And if you're watching on playback is somewhere where we can watch the same feed together, and there's a chat function. I can even bring people up onto the stage. So if that's something that you want to do, you can create a free playback account. I'm going to leave that in the comments for those watching on YouTube. Feel free to join me there, or you can stay right here on YouTube. But if you have questions for me, either way, drop them in the chat. Let me know where you're watching from. Who do you think is going to win? Did you put some money on this game? Let me know. Let me know what you're thinking, folks. Nice drive there by Ty Harris. Didn't ever quite get going with Dallas. Hey. Welcome. Thanks for joining me, whether on playback or YouTube. We are watching the last 2 seconds of the first quarter between the New York Liberty and the Connecticut Sun. The New York Liberty down 23-17 to close out the first, but Dolson just made a nice bucket to get them within 6. I think both teams are talking to the officials after that first quarter. But yeah, this is our watch along or watch party. I think I have to wash my lens or clean my lens, not wash it. ally really coming up big in sports when it comes to equity in coverage. So I think that's really interesting. Hopefully, it'll work out and trickle down to also media companies who are empowering people of color. Oh, that's much better. Yeah. So for those watching on YouTube, again, this is a watch along. So what I'm doing is I'm watching the New York Liberty game, and this is just a time for us to chat. Maybe you're watching, and you want to get off some of your, most passionate hard takes from Africa. Oh, very cool. I love that. From Mali, very cool. What is your opinion on how the WNBA handled the Dearica Hamby case? Well, I think that I'll start with what I like. As you see, if you're watching on playback, you can see they're interviewing Tiffany Hayes. But let me turn this down real quick. I think, honestly, there's a lot that we don't know. I think it's unfortunate of the reports that what Dearica Hamby said. I think that I'm glad that the PA got behind her and that there was an investigation. Now, you don't always know fully what an investigation is, but it seems like there's just some weird stuff that I wish we had more information about, such as Becky Hammond saying that none of her current players, the players on her roster, you know, none of those people were interviewed. She said she heard that Liz Cambage was interviewed, but then the league said that she wasn't. So who did they talk to if not to the players that were on Dearica's team at the time? But then also it seemed like this was more of an off-season thing. So, you know, and that's Nayara Sabali just scored. Um, so grew up in Germany, but I forget where the Sabali family is from on the continent of Africa. But anyway, good to see Nayara back to good health. She spoke to media yesterday. So anyway, to wrap up, thank you so much for your question. Thank you so much for joining me. And I just think that there's a lot of information that I wish had been a part of the findings. We didn't really get any understanding of how the league came to that conclusion. And am I expecting them to release all of the names of the people who were interviewed? Should Becky Hammond know those people? Probably not. But it's just like, I don't know. I wish I had more information, I guess is what I can say. So thank you for your question. But yeah, I wish I had more information. I don't think that the league did a great job of helping us understand how they got to their conclusions. And it seems like everybody was a little bit confused. I will say that Dearica Hamby has said to reporters that she does feel supported by the league throughout the process, that she and her family are moving on. So, all of that is good, but it's just a weird situation, Abdul. Thank you for the question, though. And hey, what time is it in Mali? That's so wild. Thank you, though, for joining. Niara Sabali, once again, strong move. Can't get the bucket, though. She's looking good, though. I like her size. I like her movement, her athleticism. Um, I think she's going to be good. I think she's going to be really good. And the New York Liberty really like her promise and potential. So if you don't, check out our New York Liberty podcast called Gotta Get Up. And it is obviously named after the song for those who maybe don't know, but I'm going to put it in the chat. It's a New York Liberty podcast, or a podcast for New York Liberty fans. And you can check out some of the stuff that we have. There will be some stuff on Niara coming up, because I spoke to her before this game, but then I also spoke to her during training camp. So we're going to put a little bit of that together and have some conversations about Niara. Hey, thanks so much, Raul. First time on the channel, love it. Do you do these watch-alongs often? So we're going to be doing one WNBA game of the week, and then we'll probably, if in this case the game of the week is a New York Liberty game, but we'll probably moving forward do a New York Liberty game and one other game in the WNBA where the New York Liberty are not playing. So yes, stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe. And if you hit the notifications, then that's how you'll know when something is scheduled or when I'm going live. So thank you. 5:26 p.m. in Mali. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. Well, thank you so much for joining. But yeah, we're going to have a New York Liberty centric podcast. It comes from the T-shirt toss song. I remember going to New York Liberty games as a child and singing the song, gotta get up, gotta get up. And then you try to get a T-shirt. So that's where the name of the podcast comes from. And I'm working with Brian Floritan. He is the head of WNBA content at The Local W, which is native to New York. He's from Brooklyn, and it is an independent outlet that covers women's sports. So Nets Republic is the main company, and then they have now all of their women's sports over on The Local W, which includes Gotham FC, which is soccer or football internationally, and they also cover the Premier Hockey Federation. For those who don't know, I'm actually a broadcaster. I'm an analyst, and I'm on the broadcast for the Women's Hockey League. Next year, if I'm lucky enough to return, will be my 8th season calling women's hockey games, and that makes me the longest tenured broadcaster in league history. So I'm really excited about that. I got to 100 games, which is hard to do in women's hockey because the seasons are about 20 games. But anyway, yep. So we'll be doing these. We'll be doing these at least once a week, but it's gonna likely be twice. So one New York Liberty game of the week, one overall WNBA game of the week. Sometimes, again, if the New York Liberty happen to be playing in the game of the week, then that's what we'll do. Like this week. This week, they're one and the same. So, yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Earlier, I answered this one about the Dearica Hamby situation. And long story short, I wish we had more information. We're going to be doing more watch parties. I have the link also for playback. If you want to watch the physical game in real time that I'm watching, you can join us on playback as well. Playback also has a chat function, and I can bring people up video and or audio, and we can chat in real time. So check that. It's right here, the Playback TV, Black Rosie Media. That's my company, _basketball. And Black Rosie Media, we're a platform where we're empowering Black women and melanated people in sports media. We know that less than 5% of media coverage is dedicated to women's sports. But if we look at the numbers of women of color, Black women, Asian women, Indigenous women, Latinas like myself, in every category in big mainstream media markets or outlets such as the Associated Press, we account for less than 3% of sports writers, of editors, of producers. And so that's why my platform exists. So I'm not just the founder, but I'm one of the creatives here. And we have other people that are helping to elevate not just women in sports and Black women and melanated women in sports, but also women in sports media. So that's what we do here at Black Rosie Media. And so, yeah, thank you so much for joining. Right now, this is a pretty simple watch along. If you, when you watch Gotta Get Up, we're going to record our next episode right after this game with Brian and I. We won't go live, but we are going to record, and you'll see we have some pretty cool graphics and stuff, and all of that will start to incorporate on the live streams in June. Long story short, we're using one platform and system, and so we're waiting to transition everything else over to StreamYard, and we'll be doing watch parties, but we'll have overlays. If I have special guests, you'll have their names and how to follow them, and then also we hope to incorporate a score bug as well. So when you're watching on YouTube, I can tell you the score, which right now we're seeing that the New York Liberty are catching up, dividing the gap. It's 28-27 right now in favor of the Connecticut Sun with about 6 minutes left in the second quarter or the first half. So now in this possession, the New York Liberty have a chance to take the lead. Vandersloot drops that off, pocket pass to Jonquel Jones, who's dancing right below the foul line. Can't get it to bounce, but Vandersloot is able to get the rebound. Kayla Thornton now has it, top of the key to Jones. Jones to Stewie at the elbow. She drives, penetrates, mid-range, misses everything. And unfortunately, the New York Liberty on that possession can't get anything going. That's another reason I like doing these watch-alongs. I can practice my play-by-play. So, but again, if you have any questions that you want me to address, New York Liberty questions, WNBA questions, or just sports in general, let me know. All right, now we have the Connecticut Sun. Alyssa Thomas, I mentioned earlier on the stream. Stephanie White, the new head coach of the Connecticut Sun. Oh, she just got stuffed by Stewie, but DeWanna Bonner gets that, heaves it. Oh, and makes it. Banks it. The shot clock was running down, and just outside the arc, DeWanna Bonner gives Connecticut a 31-27 lead. She kind of has to shrug and just kind of kiss that one up to the gods, the basketball gods. Stewie now, she goes up, banks it off the backboard and one. Thank you for the support, Shea Butter FC. I see y'all tweeting about it. Thank you. Pull up, pull up. I really like Tiffany Hayes. First of all, Tiffany Hayes is healthy, but so you're starting to see her agility with this Connecticut Sun team. So a Connecticut team, I think that in the past, if we're being honest, has lacked a little athleticism. I mean, Courtney Williams had to do a lot when it came to athleticism and playing with that dog in them. But Tiffany Hayes now brings that with Courtney Williams. Now with Chicago, Jonquel Jones. What a great offensive rebound there. Really great box out by Bree Jones, but Jonquel Jones able to fight it off, get the offensive board, and get another chance for a possession here for the New York Liberty. Yep, she gets caught on the arms by Bree Jones, who is trying to recover, but she uses her long arms kind of to reach back, grab the rebound because she was being pushed under the basket. Really great job by Jonquel Jones. I mean, Bree Jones did everything she could to her former teammate to win that ball, but the bounce was a little heavy, so Jonquel Jones was able to reach back. And she now, misses the second, so it's 33-30. Low-scoring affair. I come to expect that in Connecticut Sun games because they play a tough defense. Elena Deladon, after she got fined, but the next day, because they played a home-and-home series, the Connecticut Sun and the Washington Mystics last week. But Elena Deladon, she said, listen, the Connecticut Sun are playing playoff-style defense. To me, that means it's intense. That means it's tough. That means it's really locked in defensively. And that's how Stephanie White wants her team to play. She's a new head coach, but this is how the franchise, the Connecticut Sun, has played for a while. Alyssa Thomas doesn't like that foul call, but she definitely reached in on Jonquel Jones. And so here's where, again, the tides are going to turn in this game. The team that's able to stay disciplined is going to fare well because it's going to be fast in transitions. It's going to be physical. And so eliminating turnovers, but then also not giving up fouls, I think is going to be the recipe for a victory. It's 35-30 right now, Connecticut Sun. They've been able to maintain that lead. Jonquel Jones scrapping again, just couldn't come up with that offensive board. Heidemann from the corner, barely got her feet set, but somehow able to knock that down. What a shot by Heidemann. Really fantastic. Stewie, that pull up, stop it on a dime and going straight up. She's had so much success with that, not just today, but obviously throughout her career. Ooh, Dewana Bonner. So I'm not sure if they called a foul here. I think it should have been, but Dewana Bonner tried to cut through the defense, go up for the shot. She does get hit. I didn't hear the whistle, but I believe she should be getting a foul here. She drew a foul. Smart play there by Dewana Bonner. Just really good hustle play and ends up getting whacked on top of the head. RC covers the WNBA and NBA. Hey, I've seen your channel before. Stewie is beast mode. She is to be appreciated. Basketball greatness doesn't come along every day or every year. All right. We're about to find out just how real those Courtney Williams and Jonquel Jones-less Connecticut Sun are. I mean, they're 3-0 and they played Washington twice. So I think you're right that we can't, right now they are top of the table. Are they going to stay there? Who knows? Who knows? But I like what we're seeing. I like that Stephanie White has kept what all of the good elements are of the Connecticut Sun, and it doesn't look, like she's trying to overhaul too much too soon. And I think that's smart. I mean, it's the Connecticut Sun team that's made how many finals in the last 5 seasons? 2 finals or something like that. So I think that's smart. And Stephanie White is a smart coach. She knows the league. And I think I like what I'm seeing so far. But this is going to be a good test. I agree with you. This is going to be a good test because why? Because the New York Liberty, although for a lot of reasons, and we're going to talk about this again, weekly show, Gotta Get Up, a podcast for New York Liberty fans that drops every Monday with myself, featuring Brian Floriton, who is a writer over at Nets Republic, as well as the Local W. But we're going to talk about the intensity with which Sandy Brondello has taken her team. They had a week off, so kind of ran them through a mini training camp to get them rebooted once again. And so I think this is going to be a really great game. I think it's going to remain low scoring. And yeah, I think you're right. We're going to see what this Connecticut team is made of. We're also going to see what this New York Liberty team is made of. And that's why this is our game of the week. I love that they're talking about the upcoming national broadcast. Remember, we've got CBS, ION, and ESPN/ABC all showing WNBA games. The ION games, doubleheader. Sometimes it's a doubleheader, but it's or is it always a doubleheader? Either way, there's games on Fridays on ION, which is something like you can find on your Roku. I use Fubo, so it's on Fubo and stuff like that. So this is a CBS game. Obviously, you still have League Pass, but I love it. I love that there's different looks, more opportunities also for, as Black Rosie Media loves to see, more broadcast opportunities. 151 left here in the first half. 38-32, New York Liberty. I think we have a little bit of a shot clock situation, something going on. So they're going to fix that. So at the half, I'm going to take a little water break. But then we'll come back and we'll talk about some of the stats in the early half, what we liked, what's going on. But thank you again so much. Let me know in the chat. I know we've got Molly in the chat. I don't know where everyone else is from, but if you feel comfortable, shout out your city, shout out your state, your country, whatever you got going. I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I mentioned that earlier. I'm originally from New York. For those wondering, I moved to Tulsa. Long story short, I needed a change. You know, life was lifing, and I wanted a little bit of a change. There's an opportunity here, so now I'm in Tulsa. I'm a little sad there's no more WNBA here because I would have been a 5-minute walk, just a 5-minute walk from where the Tulsa Shock used to play. Anyway, oh, look at Ellie dancing. I wonder what we'll get from Ellie at halftime. You know, the legendary Tina Turner passed away this past week, and I think Ellie could harness some Tina Turner. I don't know if it's going to happen, but we'll see. Lots of Oregon fans in the house. Sabrina Ionescu, Niara Sabali. So that's pretty dope to see. They're having some issue with the clock. So now both teams are using this to huddle up and draw up some plays. Again, we're in the last 2 minutes of the first half here. I'm a big fan of Sandy Brondello as a coach. I'm so grateful that the New York Liberty went out to get a veteran coach who's won championships in the WNBA. We needed that so much. All right, let's read this comment. Elena Deladon was getting busy yesterday against the Sky. Did you see the way her clutch shot stuck to the Sky? Although it's been forever since she was with them. Listen, Elena Deladon, I didn't realize this because, you know, Elena Deladon has been injured on and off for quite some time, even when she was with the Chicago Sky, which seems like eons ago. But I'd never really seen a healthy Elena Deladon. And then in that run up to the 2019 finals, I remember that was the first WNBA finals I was able to physically like be in the building for against the Connecticut Sun. And I just remember being like, wow, she is as advertised. Like Elena Deladon, you talked about beast mode for Stewie. EDD, had she been healthy, multiple time over champion, in my opinion, multiple time over MVP. Like she's sick. I love this comment. As a now Oklahoma, I'm about to change over my driver's license, which is a little bit rah, but I'm going to be here at least through next year. We'll see. Anyway, Oklahoma City needs a WNBA franchise too, as does Philadelphia, Toronto, and maybe Milwaukee or St. Louis. Ooh, good question. Let me know in the chat, where else do you want to see the WNBA expand? I'm going to shout out my good friend Ari Chambers. She wants them to come back to Charlotte. I wouldn't mind seeing Houston come back. But here's the thing. Is it kind of a setup if you create a WNBA franchise in a city where it used to be, especially Houston? I mean, 4-time back-to-back champions. I don't know. That might be a little bit of a setup, but we'll see. DeWanna Bonner, big shot there. AT with the rebound, dribbles out of trouble, still on the double team, finds Bonner at the top. Heidemann, that's going to be off the mark. But Banajolani able to just push the ball right to Ionescu. Almost got that stolen. Offensive foul called on Banajolani. She does not like the call at all. It's going to be on the screen. So Banaja might have been moving a little bit. Hey, Madison, that's right. North Carolina raise up. Let's go. Let's go. I'd love to see it. Charlotte, I mean, again, Ari Chambers is going to want to see that. Charlotte, where else in North Carolina would you say? I mean, I think I know what you might say, but um, I would love it. I mean, you've got the Yao sisters from North Carolina. Shout out also to my alma mater, Elon. Susan Yao used to coach there. Um, so yeah, I think North Carolina would have to be there. So yeah, I guess let's bring Charlotte back. All right, here we go. Duana Bonner thought about that one from deep, and she can make that. Now she pushes Ionescu down, goes up and under, but cannot get the bounce. She didn't use the backboard. And then an errant pass. Heidemann knows that was maybe not the best pass. She gives a little my bad there. We've got 39.6 seconds still left in this second. I mean, the last 2 minutes of this game have taken forever. And another stoppage. Don't know exactly what's happening. I don't know if bloodied lip. Looks like a busted lip for AT Alyssa Thomas. So she's clearing that up now. Of course, in any sport, can't play with blood. She's getting that. I'm loving Stephanie's jacket here. Leather. I don't know if it's real leather or vegan leather or whatever. Raleigh, North Carolina, exactly. Duke, exactly. UNC, but yeah, UNC, they're going through some things. I mean, those are definitely going to be feeders, right? And they're all right there. I think hitting up Tobacco Road or whatever. All that whole Raleigh Durham, triad area. I'm trying to think. Other than but would they build something new? I mean, you could in a place like North Carolina, I think, but I think Charlotte's probably the best bet money wise, infrastructure wise. But get a team in the triad and then have that team host a college combine. Woo! Connecticut getting looks. They're just not using the rebound. Last 2 seconds, Stewie has the ball, but she gets stuffed. And so that's the half, 38-32, low scoring game. I think in the front load of the halftime, it was definitely the defense. I think on the back end, lots of stoppages, weird whistles, clock issues, I don't know. And then some lackadaisical passing, maybe not the most not the best decision making by both teams. I think also slowed down the scoring a little bit. But oh man, both of these teams cut to the basket well. They pass well. They play great defense. So I'm loving it. I'm loving it so far. Oh, Black Rosie, who's your college team? Okay, this is an interesting question. The first big college that I really wanted to go to, it's a long story, maybe for another watch along, but was the University of Maryland. So I kind of still have a soft place in my heart when it comes to that. I went to a very small school called Elon. And so I'm always going to root for the Phoenix. But other than that, I don't have a team. I definitely have teams I don't like. Duke is at the top of the list. NC State, very specifically their softball team, but that's because I used to play softball against them. And there was like a little skirmish that happened when we played them one time, and it just left a really sour taste in my mouth. So anyway, but yeah, I guess I would say Maryland. I watch any of their teams, men's, women's, any sport. I just really like Maryland. Okay, UCLA, that's a great choice. Iowa, women's basketball, gotta love it. Purdue, come on. So much history with Purdue. I love it. Yeah, first half was really solid. Really, really solid. I like this. Greensboro. Now, thing about Greensboro is, of course, that you still have some colleges in the area. A little bit less. I mean, you still have an airport, I guess, is what I'm saying, or is what I'm trying to say. I think either way, I like having something up that way and not just in Charlotte, but we'll see. Yeah, loved the first half. Really loved it. Um, let's take a look at the stats here. Let's see what we got going on. I'm curious to see who had the most offensive rebounds, who had the most turnovers. If I had to guess, most offensive rebounds by a player might be Brianna Jones for the Connecticut Sun. I also think the Sun probably eye test. Sun probably have the better offensive rebounds and second chance points. Baskets in transition, I don't know. It was pretty close. Okay, let's see. Oh, here's a good stat. Bench points 7-10 right now in favor of the New York Liberty. Niara, I think, is helping that for sure. The biggest lead belonged to the Connecticut Sun. They had an 8-point lead. Connecticut winning the battle of the boards. Just these are some quick stats that they have here. Let me see if I can see. Yeah, here. Let's go to the box score. Or game charts. What are game charts? They've updated the stats page, which I greatly appreciate. So they've got rotations. Look at this. Shot charts. Amazing. So good. So good. Okay. I think I can show y'all this. Hey, what up, Sky? I see you in playback. We've got people watching on YouTube. We've also got people watching on playback. What's good? What's good? Thank you so much for stopping through. They're doing a segment on Brittany Griner. We talked about that. So we have another show that's a WNBA kind of wrap-up show. We give you 5 storylines in 5 minutes. We focused on Brittany Griner for the first 2 weekends because, I mean, that's the biggest story right now. So they're giving us a little recap there. What I really enjoyed, and I haven't seen too many people talking about it, but we're talking about it over on Black Rosie Media, is that Brittany Griner, for the first home game of the regular season, Griner and the Phoenix Mercury have partnered with Bring Our Families Home. The Bring Our Families Home campaign is all about bringing awareness for U.S. citizens who have been wrongfully detained abroad. So that's the campaign in part that was able to bring Brittany Griner home. And so now Griner, the Phoenix Mercury, and by extension, the WNBA have been elevating this platform. And I really enjoyed what I'm going to forget. It's like the special presidential envoy for hostage affairs. I think that's the title. But again, check out our video. I'll put the link in just a minute. But his name is Roger Karstens, I believe. And he talked about, and I love that he talked about it. I'm such a nerd when it comes to community organizing in particular. I did that work for a really long time. But anyway, he talked about what made this campaign for Griner so effective was that there were people at all ends of the spectrum. Some people just showing awareness or just keeping Griner's name in media. So that's, an exposure thing to direct advocacy and action, such as writing and petitioning the president, writing their their representatives and senators, and there was so much. It was a dynamic approach for Brittany Griner, and what the Bring Our Families Home campaign is all about is making sure that we see that for every citizen. And I will be honest, until this happened to Brittany Griner, my knowledge of how, I don't know if I want to say it, I wasn't aware how often, perhaps, that there are US citizens detained overseas. I had no knowledge. I had no understanding of even how I could be supportive. And I will say, Griner being away personally was very emotional for me as a Black woman because things feel and look and sound and go down a little bit different when we are detained. And that was a little bit hard for me emotionally to engage with. So I'm very grateful that, that sounds weird. I guess what I'm trying to say is there's always opportunity that can come from really dark, unfortunate circumstances. And for me, as someone who does take up advocacy, not professionally anymore, but I do try to make that, I try to save energy for that. This has been something that is now on my radar. And I think that's hella dope. And when we say the WNBA is so important, shout out to Ari Chambers, good friend of mine. When we say that, that's what we mean. So yeah, I think that's great. Okay, I have another question over in the YouTube chat. Your quick thoughts on Aaliyah Boston so far? I think she's been doing great so far. I mean, I'm going to take a look at her stats, but I've seen two of her games because the Indiana Fever opened up essentially all of WNBA season, and then they played the New York Liberty. I think got the nerves out in that first half. I do think she's realizing that she can command a lot on that Indiana Fever roster. And I think that's a good thing. I think that Kelsey Mitchell, I know you asked about Aaliyah Boston, but I feel like I have to talk about Kelsey Mitchell, who's been with that team and has had to shoulder a lot. It's difficult to have your greatest player by a pretty wide margin be also your facilitator, because then they can't pass the ball to themselves, in like a true point guard situation. So I'm hoping that there is a concerted effort from Indiana and who's on that team to make things open up for Kelsey Mitchell and for Aaliyah Boston. I think Boston immediately does that for Mitchell and thus vice versa. But I think you also have to look at some of the role players early on for that Indiana team. And again, I know you asked about Aaliyah Boston, but for me, I think she's been great so far. I think Indiana has a lot of work to do. And if they can all buy into support Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston at all costs, I think there's a lot of promise and potential for Indiana, and they could take some teams by surprise. But I do wonder what their stamina is going to be, what their overall health situation is going to be in Indiana. And what I hope for Boston's sake is that she doesn't find herself in a Kelsey Mitchell situation. But I had a conversation with Lynn Dunn actually about Aaliyah Boston, and that's going to be coming up next week on Black Rosie Media. And then I'll have something specific about expansion. I talked to the amazing Lynn Dunn, the legendary Lynn Dunn, and she had a very easy solution to expansion, whether you think that's adding teams, whether you think that's adding roster spots. And I agree with her. I wrote about this several years ago for the New York Times, so I can't wait to circle back to that. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Hey, Damien, good to see you. Erica should be at the Barclays Center in person, and I'm having a blast, but the Liberty are down by 6. Hey, well, tell everyone, hey, from Tulsa. I miss being around with the crew. I was on the Liberty beat for multiple years, covering them at MSG. Then I covered the whole move to White Plains, which was actually convenient for me. I said I worked in the nonprofit sector. I was actually working in White Plains, New York, living in the city. And so I could walk from work to the game and then take the train into the city with everyone else to go home. But anyway, enjoy the game and let me know if Ellie gets down to some Tina Turner. I want some Proud Mary, I want some Rolling on the River. Let's go. But always a great time at Barclays. Okay, I was looking at the stats and then I went on a tangent. But okay, points in the paint right now. Ooh, okay, this is different than what I thought it was going to be. I think I can share this screen in both places, but let me do it over on StreamYard first, since that was where most of y'all are. Okay. So let's take a look at these stats real quick because they surprised me a little. Oh, they're showing them up on the screen here if you're watching on playback as well. But what they don't have is something. So they have the score, obviously, field goals 15 for 38 to 15 of 32. But what I thought was really interesting is looking at these points in the paint. So the points in the paint right now, 26-12 in favor of the New York Liberty. So turnovers, though, 9 turnovers for the New York Liberty, points off of turnovers, 10 points off of turnovers. So there you go. If the New York Liberty, I don't know if y'all can even see that because it's on the sidebar. There we go. Make it a little bigger. So points in the paint is what I was looking at, and then also team turnovers and points. So the New York Liberty, I like that they're getting points in the paint against this Connecticut squad. And if they can eliminate the turnovers, 10 points for Connecticut on turnovers alone. And what is it? It's a, what's the score right now? 38-32. It's a 6-point game. They could have a 4-point lead theoretically, right? So that's interesting. Damien over on YouTube says the Liberty have to be in attack mode and find ways to score, at least get some easy baskets. Well, again, Damien, I think they're doing that, right? They're doing that. Now you can always use more of it. Transition is going to be so important between these two teams, but eliminating the turnovers, because not only are both of these teams that want to run in transition, but Connecticut will make you pay for mistakes. They will make you pay. I said I was going to get something to drink and I didn't. I'm going to have to do that. 6 points is nothing. That's what I'm saying. It's not a lot, but if you're giving up 10 points on turnovers, it's even like you're basically you would be winning if you didn't give it. Well, it's very rare that a team's gonna have no turnovers, but they could be even closer, I guess is what I'm saying. Hey, what's going on? We see you, Shea Butter FC. Hey, listen, if you're not already, make sure you follow the Shea Butter FC podcast, another group that we got some things in the work, but I talked about Black Wall Street and the commemoration of a very dark history happening this weekend in Tulsa. But in case y'all didn't know, Juneteenth is coming up, and Shea Butter FC has something planned with Angel City for those in California. So go check that out. And make sure you follow Shea Butter FC. And make sure you stay tuned to Black Rosie Media, because we're going to find ways to make sure we plug the homies and all the great work that they're doing. So yeah. So I think it's a good game. I think both teams, but the New York Liberty in particular, settle in a little bit more. And I like what Damien said, attack. All right, I'm going to get a drink for real this time. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. All right. Oh, you already know it's always love. It's always love. Ooh, I spilled my Gatorade. Making a mess. Thanks, fam. Thanks for coming. Like I said, this is going to be, we'll have a game of the week, a WNBA game of the week. And then we're also, if the Liberty aren't playing in the game of the week like they are this week, we'll also have a New York Liberty game that we watch. So at least one watch party, sometimes two, most of the time, two watch parties. Now that the WNBA season is here. And I know Shea Butter FC has done some things on playback before. I feel like playback, I love playback as a concept. I think it's just, at least for our, because I also do this for hockey, for my hockey coverage. And I think sometimes it's just, people know how to use YouTube. And sometimes it's just easier to keep people on YouTube. But the only part is we can't watch the game together. So, Okay, Shea Butter FC asking the tough questions. Do you see the Liberty pulling it out, or is Connecticut going to win? Oof. I've been trying to decide who I think is going to win this game, like it's like playoffs or something, but this is what I think. I think if the score stays low, Connecticut wins the game. I think if the New York Liberty can up the tempo, not that Connecticut can't play with pace, but I think that could give them defensively some fits. Woo! Tiffany Hayes. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad to see Tiffany Hayes healthy. Like, do y'all feel me though? Oh, now we're going to just exchange. Okay, Stewie missed from the arc. I thought, see, this is another thing. As much as I say this is going to be a low-scoring game, oops, I forgot to turn my camera on playback. As much as I think this could be, and it favors Connecticut if it's a lower-scoring game, traditionally, statistically speaking, both of these teams can stretch the floor with their three-point shooting. And we haven't even seen Rebecca Allen yet. If this game gets out of hand and the Liberty start knocking down threes, which, I mean, now they got JJ pulling up threes, Stewie pulling up threes, we might see some more Beck Allen. So all of that to say, if it stays low scoring, I give it to Connecticut. If we start picking up the pace, I'm going to give it to the New York Liberty. But I give the edge to Connecticut in this game, not even going to lie. But here come the New York Liberty. I mean, they're 3-0, right? They're 3-0. You kind of got to go with 3-0. I mean, 1-1 is nothing to sneeze at. And the New York Liberty played so much better at home. It was interesting for Niara and Jonquil Jones. We had media of, stuffed. Great job by Stewie. I think she got blocked twice. Once by Stewie, once by JJ. Stewie from the arc. Unfair. Yep, timeout. I think it's a timeout. 41-40. Here we go. 41-40. I'm glad I got my drink because I needed to hydrate. This game about to go wild. I love it. Though. It was only the half. Damien and I thinking the Liberty taking this game. The Sun are the real. That's what I'm saying. It's tough. I think no blowouts. We're not getting a blowout here. That's not happening. I think it's going to be tough. Ooh, the Liberty jerseys are fresh. I'm going to tell you what, though. The Connecticut Sun, where they have the word sun in, I don't want to misspeak, but the Mohegan tribe, I am not sure what their native language is. I should look that up. But they have a jersey where they use the native language, the word for sun, and it has all of these very simple but beautiful and intricate details that come from the Mohegan tribe on that. I've got one. I wore it the other day, so it's not in my closet right now, but I love that jersey. Stewie, listen, Stewie trying to be MVP again. That's what I'm seeing. I know it's only been this is her third game, but she's trying to be MVP again. That's what I'm saying. They're so fire. I love the history behind it. I'm a sage burning auntie, so I loved all of the history. And then they talk about the different elements of the orange and the blue that they use, and even the shapes and patterns about the rip. It was great. It's a great. Those jerseys are tight. I'm trying to think. I mean, no one has like a full, what is it, Ed Hardy Portland jersey. I don't think we've seen that in the WNBA. I will say those Stranger Things jerseys from the Fever, those kind of snapped, but like not in a bad way. Like I don't think they went over like jump the shark type. I thought it was very timely, right? In Indiana Fever, Stranger Things just had a new season come out, so those were pretty tight. Those were pretty tight. Man, listen, those Ed Hardy. I know some people like love them. I'm not hating on them per se, but it's not the first thing that I would pick off the rack. It's just not. It's not for me. But it definitely brings you to a specific time and a specific memory for those of a certain age. So in that respect, I'm not knocking it. It's just not. It's not something that I would own. So mm. Olympics next year, Black Rosie Media, we are credentialed. So at least one person, as of right now, that would be me, is going to be there in person. We're waiting. We're on the wait list for a few other credentials, including for a photog. But some of these folks we're going to be seeing potentially in the Olympics next year. I'm very excited to see Maureen Johannes back for the New York Liberty. Right now they have Epiphany Prince. Tiffany, see. Okay. There's a lot going on right now. So Tiffany Hayes drew a foul. Jonquel Jones got called for her third foul. Absolutely a foul. But we can see that Tiff Hayes has her wrist taped up. She fell earlier. She gets bumped there, and as someone who I don't have my wrist guard on, I should probably put it on. But sometimes, like when you get a wrist injury, man, you hit that thing don't feel right. It don't feel right. So Tiff is in some pain. I was just saying, I love that she's playing healthy, and hopefully, this is something that she can just put some ice on and call it a day. Ooh, AT got called for a walk. She does move them feet. So we're stuck at 41-40 after the timeout from Connecticut. 7:08 left in the third. Ooh. Is Dewana on the court? Yes, she is. She's on Sabrina Ionescu. So from a battle along on the offensive side. Ooh, salute. Let's go. New York Liberty take the lead 43-41, but look at that. In transition, they look for Bonner. They're going to reset the offense now, Connecticut. But they almost caught the Liberty sleeping there. Bonner, great play by Jones. Ooh, did they get Jonquel on her fourth? Okay, look at this. Look at this. Stewie. I talked to Jonquel about their post players being able to be efficient passers. That was a great pass to a wide open. Ooh, excuse me, Courtney Vandersloot. I got the bubbles now. So you got the bubbles. But here we go with the fouls. Here we go. Ooh, what's Sandy Brondella wearing today? Is this a jumpsuit with the ankle showing though? Okay, I'm feeling this. Hold on, let me see. It almost matches the ombre, like right where the ombre is on the it's kind of that color, and spotted also. I gotta look at it again up close. But yeah, they did get Jonquel Jones for a foul. Woo! Bree Jones, baby. Oh man, she is like, it's taken a while, and I know she's gone up and down in weight. I'd say anywhere from like 20 to 30, probably around 20 pounds here or there. But she looks really fit, coming in pretty solid, pretty muscular, and she's moving well. She's moving really, really well. Ooh, the allergies are trying to get to me. I love that. Tie game, y'all. 6:02. So that's why I was a little long-winded when you asked me who I think is going to win. I was like, well, I mean, this is a great matchup. If we see this in the playoffs, stop. I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but also But also, so the New York Liberty, they got Jonquel Jones for her fourth, two back to back, and now they got Bree Jones for a foul. So them two, those two will foul out of a game. Let me tell you. Hey, Peso, where can I watch the WNBA game? So this game is being hosted by CBS. Back in New York, CBS, I believe, is still channel 2, and they change it all the time. But this one is on CBS. You can also watch along with me if you care to on playback. So I'm going to put that once again in the chat. Not I was triggered. I wonder what's Stewie wearing tonight. She's got like some Kermit the Frog green. Because she's got the Stewies, the ones that come in a colorway that's Yukon. I don't remember what the original colorway is, to be honest. Is it? Oh, it is that one. Hold on. I thought it was a darker green though. I don't know. I can't keep up. So yeah, if you use the link, you can watch on playback. You will have to verify like your cable or streaming subscription, but you can watch along with us on playback, and then you can see what I'm watching. That way, when there's no lags, you be watching with a group of people, and then someone's like 5 minutes ahead. But right now, it's 43-44, 5:29. Steph Dolson. I said this on an earlier watch along. Steph is not one of the bigs that I personally want to see taking 3-pointers. I know she can knock them down, and I love that for her. But I don't think there's so many other 3-point shooters on her team that I don't think she needs to be a 3-point shooter. I would love to see her really get down on the block because she's been away from that game. She's great at setting screens. I would not want to try and roll through a Stephanie Dolson screen because that thing will have you hurt. But I'd like to see her play down low a little bit more. Bonner ties it up. I really want to see what Brandella is wearing. I think it is a jumper. I'm here for it. And she got it cut just above the ankle. Yes, I live. Beck Allen in the game. Here we go. Man, I've always been a big Beck Allen fan. I need Bonner to score 9 points in the second half. Well, there you go. Prize pick hams. That's a comment on playback for those watching on YouTube. I was a goalkeeper and I played basketball. Yeah, wrist and finger and thumb injuries. Not fun. I was a catcher. This is like, yeah, as a catcher in baseball and softball. Like, not fun. It hurts, man. That's why I was like, let me go get my brace. Because this thing, I'm sleeping weird on it too. So that's not helping. But yeah, I can't move my wrist down right now. See, this is my other wrist. I can't move it. It won't go anywhere. Being old is great. I mean that too. I mean, a little worn down, but still here, still running. So that's something. Stewie, oh, just short. Allen couldn't come down with the rebound. Oh, you got a box out there, baby. Kayla Thornton on the New York Liberty. There was a time, some of y'all will know this name. There was a time where I really wanted the New York Liberty to get Glory Johnson. It never happened, but Kayla Thornton plays kind of like Glory. She's not as intense, but she's intense, but just not like teetering on like the disrespectful kind of intense. Caitlin Thornton just plays. She goes out, she balls, and I love it. I love the intensity that she's going to bring to this Liberty squad. 45-46, New York Liberty, they held it on. They're gripping tight to this 1-point lead. Here we go, turnover. Ionescu. Oh, okay. I like that. Ooh. That was smart because I was like, she's looking to give that back to Stewie. She's looking to give that back to Stewie. And she did. Saw it wasn't available, pivots out of it, banks it in. Here we go. What did I say? What did I say? I knew it. I knew this game was going to start opening up. New York Liberty is pushing the pace. The Connecticut Sun, you see that there were 4 bodies on the ground just now for those of y'all watching. But that's because Connecticut trying to establish, good to see Tiff Hayes back, by the way. But Connecticut trying to establish and gain a charge because they want to slow the game now. Duana Bonner is, I can't remember off the top of my head, so I'm going to have to look it up for you real quick. 24. Someone asked in playback, what number does Duana Bonner wear? She wears number 24. New York Liberty, 5-point lead with 3:12 left in the third. Yo, Barclays is popping. Where's Damien at? I'm hopefully not on here enjoying. They getting in the paint. That's what they're trying to do. Yes, JC, thank you. Yes, it's also Paramount Plus. I forgot to mention that. CBS, Paramount Plus, the same thing. You can watch on CBS, Paramount Plus. You can watch on WNBA League Pass. You can watch on ESPN. Sometimes you can watch on ESPN Plus. You can watch on ABC. You can watch on ION on Fridays. You can watch on Prime. Are they still doing Prime? Are they still doing Prime this year? I think so. I think they're still doing Prime. So there's a bunch of places you can watch the WNBA. But this game right now is on the CBS affiliates. So that would be Paramount Plus or CBS. Yep, League Pass, $25. It's so much better. I also like that they're showing us like the in-house entertainment. Yo, I was like, I gotta go to an Indiana Fever game. They had this like group of like acrobats. It was a lot of fun. I was like, oh, okay, like jump rope, cool. No, it was a lot of fun. So highly recommend League Pass. I know. JC, I love this comment over on YouTube. I love that Brianne January is an assistant coach. She played, in the league for a long time, retired last year as a member of the Seattle Storm. She's from Washington, so wanted to play her last year closer to home. So that was super dope. I love that. And she was a coach at Arizona State University for a while playing. So to see her now coaching in the W is amazing. And anyone who's ever played with her says she's sharp, so sharp, really high basketball IQ. So I love that Stephanie White has her on the team. Tiffany Hayes, banks it off the back iron. 50-45 with 2:15 left. New York Liberty now with possession, and it's a foul up top. But you see that Connecticut's got to be careful, though, because they're starting to try. They want to grab the guards, either trap them, get a charge, an offensive foul called when they're setting the high screen. But you have to be careful because if that doesn't, you still have to play through the whistle, I guess what I'm trying to say. But Connecticut obviously wants to slow this game down. They're down 5. They want to slow this game down. And Liberty wants to speed it up. From deep. Ooh, Stewie. Woo! Stu York. Let's go. Oh my goodness, it's Gal Pal Sports over on YouTube. What's going on? Seeing the Fever in Chicago on Tuesday. That's going to be, I think that's Chicago off to a good start. That team decimated in free agency, but Ka Copper holding it down. I love that. I cannot wait to see some tweets from Gal Pal Sports. Another awesome follow if you're not already following. Yeah, I would say definitely watch the Fever this year. Now they're going to be on the struggle bus for a little while, but I'm hopeful because if we're being honest, I mean, the Indiana Fever, they have been they kind of have been a little bit of a sad case, and I think that does impact the players after a while. And you lose the energy and the fight to play. Stewie with this quick. Oh my gosh. I'm obsessed with how this. You want to talk about, Connecticut playing playoff deep. Oh my gosh. I had to interrupt my thought because Stewie just hit another three-pointer from at least 3 to 5 inches from the arc. Yo, Stewie is out of her mind when playing at Barclays. Like, this is like whole nother level cheat code type beast mode. Like, she's crushing it. And the crowd is getting into it. So Connecticut is trying to find a bucket here. I like that they reset the offense there because I think they were feeling a little bit of pressure, but that's what Connecticut does well. That's why they like slowing down the game, because they play a composed game. When things get too sped up, that's not where they want to play. That looked like a foul to me. Okay, they did call it. I was going to say, come on, Steph. You know you can't do that. You know you can't do that. Yo, Steph Dolson, Candace Parker, and James Wade are the three people who never think anything. They never do anything wrong ever and will literally run laps to make a point. I'm like, where are you going, fam? It's a foul. It's a foul. Everyone knows it's a foul. Stop with the dramatics. It's a dang foul. I still don't know how James Wade didn't get a technical. He literally, okay. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that no more. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about from last year in the playoffs. Like, he was all up on the court in people's face. Okay, but whatever. It didn't matter. Chicago didn't advance. Sorry to Chicago fans, but I don't know. Tupac, shrug. AT at the line. Oh, man. Woo. All right. Got hydrated. Now we're good to go for the rest of the game. 51-56. Connecticut trying to close this gap here before the third quarter comes to a close. Connecticut, even if they do give up a basket here, should have time to get last shot. Stephanie Dolson from 3. I already told you that's not what I'm trying to see. Ooh. Offensive or AT. They get AT loose ball foul. I got to see that again, but AT, she did not run across, but she took she took a promenade. Oh, yeah. She went up and then pushed off. That's a foul, AT. Yo, AT be making people like scared to go home at night with the way she scowls. Oof. Oh. A foul. Oh, this is wild. The last 30 seconds of this game have been absolutely wild. So loose. Okay. AT goes to pass. Her pass was high, so Stewie gets it. And then AT somehow smacks Stewie. Okay, she goes like she thinks Stewie's gonna come this way, and then she kind of hits her. Oh, dang, she's already got a black eye. Oh, dang. This game is crazy. This game is crazy. Yes, the Candace Parker, what, knee face? I'm just like, child. Dang, Stewie has a shiner already. That was not even a minute ago. Woo! Oh, Suki now. Bloodbath. And I also think that Elena Deladon saying a little bit of what she said, I feel like there's going to be some eyes on Connecticut. Damn, she already got a black eye, homie. I think she might have cut skin too on that. Whoop! Whoop! Here's the thing I like about these two teams, and this is why, yes, I do have favorites, and both of these teams are my favorites. So, yeah, I'm just going to say it out loud. But the way that they play for the most part. I mean, AT does complain. I already mentioned that Steph Dolson's up there, but for the most part, and I think their coaches have a lot to do. Well, Kurt Miller was very extra as well, but Stephanie seems to be pretty calm, cool, and collected. They're gonna play through this. I'm pretty sure that people are worked up. Stewie has a black eye. She has a black eye. She got hit right there. This game is about to get really physical. And for me, that's going to be a lot of fun. But I do think, again, the momentum right now is with the New York Liberty. If if I'm the New York Liberty, this is how I think they're going to play. I think they're going to run and gun as much as possible. That is going to put them in a position where they're going to have to absorb some contact because Connecticut's going to want to slow them down. And if Connecticut can't keep up with them, they're going to start grabbing them. And I think that New York is just going to have to get hit. They're going to all need ice baths after this game. But if they get through that, because Connecticut can't do that for the rest of the game for a number of reasons. One, they're going to all foul out. Two, as much as they play a physical game, I don't think they like to go over, they're not over the top physical, in my opinion. So I think things are looking real good for the New York Liberty right now. They've frustrated Connecticut. They've sped them up. They have them a little bit outside of how they normally play. Now, Connecticut, if they can get some of that discipline back, start getting it out in transition, get Heidemann hot, Tiffany Hayes hot from the three-point line, that's how Connecticut has to get back into the game. But right now, momentum shift. New York Liberty has the momentum going into the fourth quarter. They have the lead. They have the momentum. And they have the New York crowd, which is not to be trifled with. So I would not want to take a hint to the face from AT. Yo, exactly. That's like getting hit in the face by a horse, like a bucking horse or something. That's crazy. RC, my team plays tonight. Who's your team? Who's your squad? Exactly. I'll never forget. No, for real. I'm gonna get fired because y'all can't make a layup. Woo! But also, why could Connecticut never make a layup? What was going on? That was crazy. That was crazy. And now he's in LA, where the Sparks, they got a little spark. The Sparks got a little spark. I love to see it. I love to see it. Uh-oh, prize pick hams. I love that. Says Bonner need to lock in. She gonna bring them back. I think you're right. I also like Tiffany Hayes charging. Yo, you want to talk about taking one for the team? Tiffany Hayes might leave with her right arm detached, but she is gonna get to the basket. Tiffany Hayes about to go on long-term injured reserve after playing this game. It's not funny. It's really not. It's not funny because I'm not just, oh gosh, I love it. I really do love how both of these teams play. I really love how both of these teams play. Yep. You're right though. If Tiff keeps getting banged up, she might have some problems. Uh-oh, playback. Rafiq Lewison looking to join. Rafiq, what you got going on? 57-52 in favor of the Liberty Salute. Ooh, just short. Kisses off the front of the rim. 9:25 here with this New York Liberty game. Yep. Oh, I just muted you. Hold on. I didn't know if you were coming back. Yep. What's up, Rafiq? Joining me on playback. I can't hear you, homie. Oh, yes. Okay, yes. No, I am. Oh, you're from Tacoma. What's up, Pacific Northwest? No, I cover the Seattle Kraken. I'm the host of Locked on Kraken, the podcast. So that's why we got that there. Nice eye. Good eye there. Yes, for sure. For sure. For sure. Yep. The Kraken, that's my squad. So in the NHL, that's hockey, men's hockey talk. Las Vegas Aces. Okay. Okay. I love it. Isn't Becky Hammond's back now, right? She, she went through her 2 game suspension. So that'll be interesting. I'll tell you what, it seems really small, but the graphics package across the league this year is so much better. So much better. Um, and I love it. I'm here for it. Rafiq, are you there? What's going on? Okay. I can't hear you though. Are you on mute? Let me see. I thought I unmuted you. I muted you. Check on your end. It's not. Can you unmute your mic? Who's on the ground? Tiffany Hayes. How did I know it was Tiffany Hayes? Yo, this child. She's going out. She's trying to go out like a warrior. There we go. What's good? Oof. Dang, both of them hit. Yeah. Your mic, there's a lot of feedback on your mic. Yeah, there's a lot of feedback. Got you. That's so much better. Much better. Prize Picks, I can't see the playback. Make sure if you're watching on playback that it's free platform, but you might have to log in with your credentials. But if not, you can hang out with us. You just might not be able to see the game in real time with us. Here we go. Niara Sabali. I like Niara. I really, really do. Exactly. Talented, versatile, can get inside, score at will. I love it. It's a lot of what Sandy Brondello said. Um, yeah, doing all right. Thank you. Ooh, Niara posting up. Let's go. I love it. I love it. I love it. Also watching on or we're doing a watch along on YouTube. So RC covers the WNBA and NBA. They got Becky Hammond coming back. That's the Aces, obviously, against the Sparks and De'Arica Hamby. For the ring ceremony. Oh, that's right. And Anita Baker is singing the national anthem. I hope she sings a few other songs too, because I was like, we're not even in. It's not the play hasn't even been inbounced yet. That's the only thing about streaming. Well, that's why we do the playback all together. I hear you, but not everyone is watching on cable. Yeah, I forgot they're playing the Sparks tonight, RC. Um, yep. So I will we can do a little bit of that. I actually wasn't planning on it, but we'll see. That's to be determined. I knew I wanted to watch this game. This is our game of the week. But yeah, I haven't seen Leah Brown. No. I'm sorry, Rafiq. What'd you say? I think they definitely picked it up. They were a little sloppy in the first half. We talked about the turnovers and them leading to 10 points, but like I said, they should. They got that together, and that's been the difference in the game. Now it's a slight lead, but it's a lead nonetheless, and that's what you want, especially coming down to the wire. So, building blocks for sure. They started playing smarter. Nice move. Yeah, Connecticut may get their first loss. And here's the thing, this has been Connecticut's MO since I can remember. Some especially when they're down, they're not a great finishing team. They did better in their playoff run last year, closing out games. But generally speaking, they just and this is why I like Tiffany Hayes being on the team because they need someone that has a little bark, that dog in them. You know, Tiffany Hayes, like I said, she's about to leave with her right hand detached, her right arm detached, but she's gonna go out there and fight. And that's what they need. Great move by John Cole Jones right there. I mean, but that's not even I feel like that's not a storyline anymore. Like they started 3-0. Everyone's like, how is Connecticut gonna do without Jonquel? They started 3-0, including two games against Atlanta Deladon. Like they're fine. They're fine. That's not, they're fine. And Sandy Brondello, to your point about super team, Sandy Brondello is like, we're not saying that. That's all y'all saying that, but we're not saying that. So RC covers the WNBA and NBA says New York Liberty got it going on. Now they're going 39-1. My aces are going 40-0. Bam. I love it. I love the absolute faith. We're watching on YouTube as well. Yeah, I don't know. Cool. Yeah, I haven't seen Brown. I don't know who that is. I'm gonna be honest. Leah Brown, number 30. Oh, wait. Right. I forget. There's so many new faces on teams. I think she played earlier for Connecticut, but I don't think she's playing right now. Yo, Rafiq, your TV is mad loud. I can hear it through the speakers. Or just mute it when you're not talking. Yeah, just mute when you're not talking. So then that way it's not a yeah, we're good. Yeah, I just Leah Brown. I forgot so they asked about Leah Brown in the call leading up to this game, and just one of those players that you take your opportunities when they come. But I think it's interesting that Connecticut is still very much trying to figure out their rotations because someone asked about Carrington and Carrington maybe not seeing as much action. And I think that really comes down to rotation. So it's going to be interesting to see how Connecticut plays this out. Are they going to open up their bench, try to get something going since they're trailing? I don't know. On YouTube, Liberty can rest their stars one or two at a time as they see fit, as long as they got at least Sabrina, Bree, or Jonquil on the floor. I mean, and that's depth, right? And the New York Liberty, I don't think really had depth in the places that they wanted, at least. So that is definitely something that is going to be beneficial. So we're going to record another episode of Gotta Get Up immediately following this game. So let me know if y'all have questions from a New York Liberty specific. The game is on CBS or Paramount Plus. The game just came out of commercial break, at least for me. I'm streaming, so it's a little bit far behind. I'm at the 5:25 mark right now. Right, we know you're ahead. 68:57 with 5:18 left is where I am right now. College women's basketball LSU team just contacted by LeBron James. He and Kevin Durant want to play for LSU next year. It's looking that way. I don't know. There's still some time left, but again, Connecticut is not great at closing out games RC, so we'll see what happens. But now Connecticut getting these fouls, they're frustrated. They're frustrated and they're getting beat to the spot, and so that's not going to bode well for them. So, oh, Stewie with that black eye. Oh, she got decked by AT. AT got a busted lip too, though. So this game is wild. I'm not familiar with that show. Who runs it? Bodies all over the floor. Lord have mercy. Four 70-57 New York Liberty. So Connecticut got a lot of work to do. They went on a 10-0 run earlier. Man, I really like this. I need to see it up close. I feel like I like Sandy's outfit, but I need to see it up close. Duana Bonner coming back. I'm watching on Paramount and I'm even farther behind. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the tough thing about streaming, which again is why I like playback, because at least when we're all in playback, everyone's watching the same game. But, everything has its ups and downs. All right, Rafiq, you can't be out here spoiling, especially if your mic is hot, because we got other folks watching. Yep, they're feeling good though, but you need to. I like that play by the New York Liberty to get Sabrina open because Dewana Bonner has been covering Sabrina Ionescu, and so that's a long frame to try and shoot over. All right, Rafiq. Thanks for hopping on. See ya. All right, all right. I'm at the 246 mark, 73-61. Sabrina Ionescu tried for another three, gets her own rebound. Oh, big foul. Yeah, Connecticut's just they lost their sharpness towards the end of the game here. And that's always been the thing about Connecticut is that they get into this mentality and then they can't overcome it for the most part. Not Bonner needs to sit down. She's messing up my fantasy. That's hilarious. I love that there's more sports betting now for women, for women's sports. You know, not all sports books still hold some of the women's teams, but you know. Thanks, RC. Thanks so much for joining. Yeah, you know, I got my little play-by-play juices flowing every once in a while, just because I know not everyone's watching the same stream I am. So, yeah. I mean, I see your comment, RC. The Sun no longer have a closer. That's the first part of your comment, but I mean, again, that's what I feel has been the issue for them. And they haven't won a championship. They get there, but they can't close a game. I don't know that they've ever had a closer. When's the last time that they had a closer? Lindsay Whalen? Tina Charles? I mean, that was what, at least a decade ago, right? Like, it's a little tough. It's a little tough. Oh yeah, NCAA softball in the mix. I think they rescheduled some games because of rain, I think I saw. So I played college softball, but and also because of that experience, I don't always watch college softball. I tell you what, man. Anyway, we'll save that for another stream. It's sad though, because I was like in that world for a really long time, and then I just had to be like, nah. Nah, but I love that there's more Black players that are coming up, hopefully getting respect. So, yeah, great question. I mean, people gave Tina Charles a lot of crap last year. Listen, Tina is tough. I'm not gonna lie. As someone who's covered her as media, and she tried to play me virtually to my face when I asked a question of her coach, and then she overheard it, and I was like, "Girl, I was gonna ask you the same question. Like, I'm not talking bad about you." Anyway, but I don't know. I feel like she, you know, wanted to win a championship. There was a lot of drama in Phoenix. She then goes to Seattle and did exactly what she's always done in Seattle, and somehow at every step in Washington, she made that team better with no EDD, and somehow everything was Washington's fault. She goes to Phoenix, and literally you have Skylar Dickens-Smith and Diana Taurasi cursing each other out on the court, but somehow that was Tina Charles' fault. And then she goes to Seattle, and that team was a bubble team, goes all the way to the semifinals and plays a fantastic series against the Las Vegas Aces. And somehow that was still Tina's problem that they didn't advance. And I'm just like, I don't know. Tina Charles is a lot of things. I will give you that. And I have seen that firsthand. But y'all be putting a lot on sis. That's all I gotta say. And I think she was just tired of it. She wanted to win a championship. She didn't get it done. There was a lot of drama. A lot of people, even in the industry, and I mean like on the basketball side of things, just kind of saying all kinds of crazy stuff. So I think she was just like, F it. She got her production company. She's got, her documentaries that she's got going on. She don't need all that. So I think it's kind of sad if she flamed out like that. Maybe she'll come back, but I don't know, man. It just seemed like it was a lot. So you ain't ever gonna hear me talking incorrect about Tina Charles. Like I said, she can be a lot of things, but y'all be putting a lot on her that I don't think she deserves. People in New York Liberty fans don't like Tina Charles because she ruined the team. I think she's just an easy target. She's an easy target because she's not the most friendly to anyone. That's just how she is. She keeps to herself. And she's going to tell you how she feels, but y'all put a lot on Tina. The New York Liberty had chances to build a team around Tina Charles, and they just never did it. That's my take on Tina Charles, though. So exactly, JC. She's done. She's done. Like everyone thinks she is the drama, but I don't. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe right. Maybe I'm just. I don't know. But either way, she's tired. She's tired. Yeah, the Liberty's going to pull this game out. So I said it was going to be a good game. I mean, 79-64. What's happening now? Now, Liberty fans are hilarious to me because y'all demonize Tina Charles but love Han Ju. I don't have anything against Han. I really don't. And I don't understand where her role is, but here she goes coming into the game. I mean, I love it. I love it for her. I know she's a Chinese national team player, and so there's a lot going on there. And I love that the crowd loves her. I mean, it's 119 left. Why not? That's what I do like about Sandy, that she'll put players in the game at this point. So I don't know what's happening, but looks like Hanju is going to get into this game. So that's exciting. She's not my favorite. I wonder what the New York Liberty is going to do down the line, having Jonquel Jones, Brianna Stewart, Stephanie Dolson, Hanju, and Niara Sabali. Not to mention Kayla Thornton, but I think she's kind of in her own bracket. That's out of 12 spots. That I don't know that they need all of that. But then if Han isn't getting more minutes, then is she developing enough? I don't know. I'll enjoy it, but I don't need it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Is Dewana still out there? They just made some changes for me on my side, and AT's at the line. I don't know yet to answer the question. It does not look like Dewana Bonner is in the game right now. Han is definitely the height, but now they have Stewie and JJ. I don't know. Is Johannes playing yet? No, Johannes is still overseas. She should be coming back soon, though. So I think we didn't have Johannes. That's why we had Prince, I believe. And also Niara was out. So I think Johannes should be coming back soon. But it was only a few days ago that she wrapped up her international duties. Oh, I like this. So you're thinking, the Caitlin Clark is kind of like a prototype, or Ionescu is a prototype for Caitlin Clark. Yeah, I think so. I think they're very similar players, but not exactly the same. I'm trying to decide who I think is a little more athletic. I'm tempted to say Caitlin, but I don't know. I need to. I've seen Caitlin a handful of times, but not a bunch because that's hockey season for me. So, whoop, Hanju scored and the crowd goes wild. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I agree. Sun very impressive, even though they're about to take this L, first loss of the season. They didn't play Beck Allen very much, which was surprising to an extent. But again, Stephanie White says she's trying to figure out the rotation. And that's it. 81-65, a win for the New York Liberty. They kind of slowly dragged that game out. Very weird stoppages at times. But I'm excited to see these two teams take, I almost said the ice, take the court again. All right, that's going to do it for our watch along and our watch party on Playback. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back. Check Black Rosie Media, subscribe, and set your notifications so you know when our next WNBA game of the week is. And I'm going to tune out because I'm going to record our second episode of Gotta Get Up, a podcast for New York Liberty fans, along with Brian Fleuryton, who is at that game at Barclays Center. So we got a lot of fun stuff coming up. Make sure you check out everything that we have. And until next time, peace out, everyone. Enjoy your holiday weekend. See ya. All right, closing out Playback, and now close out YouTube. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you came through, JC. Peace out, Shea Butter FC. Thanks for holding it down, homies. Enjoy California, Angel City FC. But all right, everyone on YouTube, thanks again. If you're not subscribed again, go ahead and do it. And we'll catch you on the next one. Game of the week coming up. See ya.